I'm out here in a 90-degree weather wearing black pants, white jean jacket, while Jusup is El Bahamian. Thiago has no shoes on. Thiago's just... and Danny's
He's
just
a jungle
rocking the
boy over
shorts.
Hello everyone, thank you for your attention. It's time to get you ready for takeoff.
Rockin' fake J's, praying that nobody know. Watch them take my dog away, it was way too hard to stay composed. Fight to see the light of day, all this blood on my clothes.
For your kids, your family to use the
I
phone.
wanna live life fast or die too young. Die too young. Push it to the limit, I can't go no more. Red light, no way, I'm coming back home. Long dirt road, all on my own. I'ma be the greatest, write my name in the stone. Write my name in the stone. Yeah, I'm coming back home. Yeah, I'm coming back home. Write my name in the stone. Cause I'm coming back home. Cause I'm coming back.
Welcome back. I've only had one interview since I've been here with John Caldwell, and I think William Tong is going to try to come over here, but I think he's another one that kind of falls in this category. Right?
I think so, yeah. So a lot of people really in the space that fall in this category.
Let's talk about what that category is people who like really came up through Web3, right?
Yeah,
Clubhouse. Clubhouse.
In Clubhouse. Like some of these guys, amazing people, had never had a wallet, first of all, didn't know what a NFT was, and then just happened to jump into one of these crypto rooms and then, learn all things crypto. Actually, there's one thing that I don't think I mentioned was that, I gotta give him a shout out, but this is like, there's this room, and one of the guys is Alex. I gotta send it to you, but NFT tips. So I joined that group pretty early on with them, and we literally would host create your wallet.
Create it. So
yeah,
everybody would create one wall in the room.
The room. And so we go there and then we moved it to Discord and stream it out. And we're on Clubhouse plus Discord, and people are listening, those who can't get into Discord, and literally people creating their wallets on MetaMask. Following that, it was getting your first NFT. And this is I think a lot of people.
How early was this? What was the...
I think it's been a year, right? More than a year.
Yeah.
I think officially, for example, NFT tips started around February, and then the biggest hype came on March. Yeah, April, NFT hypes and Bored Apes. There's screenshots. I think I shared with you on Twitter. Someone posted this photo, and it's me, Zariad, and Gargamel.
The ape one.
We were there showing up in these Clubhouse rooms with Bored Ape photos, in the room. And so when you see people there literally just posting all these ape photos, you're like, what is this? How do I get one?
Yeah.
And those that were able to get there and just put in a few $100s and buy one just to follow the trend.
Few $100s. Oh my.
Yeah. But also here's the funny thing.
Oh, that hurts.
Without diverging too much, but there was this trend on Clubhouse where you could have these rooms and people would just randomly change a particular subject. So I remember one was a type of meat. So people put salami, sausage photos. Or in the poker house after party rooms, we just do random stuff like superhero night, and people just switch out their PFPs to some kind of superhero.
And every single PFP was themed out. So when you came in, I remember those. Yeah, it was interesting, man. Clubhouse was an interesting place. I wish I was more of a contributor and less of just a bystander, because it seems like I could have really came up back then.
Yeah, we would have met. I would have brought you in because I would have been yo, Jusup. I saw your videos from early on.
Wait, Jusup had?
Yeah. Before, when I looked you up and I was like, shoot. I was like, Jusup is really putting in a lot of hard work on these videos. I literally would have been yo, hey, let's host rooms.
Ah, shit, man.
Yeah, because at some point I was just... Okay, actually, this is actually when we unofficially started OpenDive around February, March. Actually, it was around May, but April, May. But it was Sean and I had to get him on there. We were still on... I say unofficial because we officially incorporated around July, and the core team didn't form until then. But at some point, I don't want to put it like this. People are dude, you're literally shutting down the room. Because I would walk in, just going to these rooms, and there's a lot of people that talk just high level stuff, right, on the tech. And it's incorrect information. And, fucking doing a PhD, and I know the research on, I just walk in and be hey, this doesn't work this way. And so people started following me, and I ended up getting I think 10 or 15,000 followers or something.
On Clubhouse?
So then I started doing these rooms, and it was purely tech people. And so I had the Cosmos founders, I had Zaki, Sunny. At some point within Poker House, we had parody people come in, Peter Morik, who you met, for example. He was there early on. Literally had them on stage, a lot of founders talking about the tech, what is coming next. And actually, yeah, interestingly enough, that's how I met Solana. Solana team and also FTX team, like Tristan, for example.
Was on Clubhouse?
Yeah. I actually have screenshots of bringing Bartosz into Clubhouse. Yeah, and Bartosz is a big, like a big player now in there. But this are early days, and Solana had no NFTs. NFTs did not access to Solana. And then I brought him in, so we talked about NFTs and how they wanted to do NFTs. And then 2 months later, like, NFTs were coming to Solana, but it's like early days. And I mean, I gotta say this is because I could show you screenshots. I'm gonna ask people if they're okay with sharing the screenshots. But back then we were talking about some of these early projects, like Solana was one. Solana was like $2 around that price. Yeah, Polkadot also too. Avalanche was around $2, like probably below there. Like Avalanche is at 100.
I had the wrong network back then because I would be a multi-millionaire right now.
no, but I mean. Yeah, and there's like two sides to this kind of story because you could share, quote unquote, like your knowledge and alpha, quote unquote. But some people took advantage too, like there were paid rooms in Clubhouse to like have you there, show your project or what you're doing. But let's not talk about this. But
shots fired.
We're not gonna discuss these names. You guys know these guys currently. They're influencers on Twitter. It's like it makes you excited and happy to know that a lot of people like are doing so well or into the industry because of this, and like they're like. I don't want to say like moments where I felt like excited and like teary because, I had one person reach out. A few people was like, "Hey, Irvin, I want to thank you, so much because you changed my life." And I was like, it's like, we're Twitter, and I was like, "Why? What do you mean?" She's like, "You told me about Harmony One," and I was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Yeah, you hosted that room where you talked about their tech and you broke it down, and I went and I bought." And she's like, "I bought, I think like she said $5,000 or $10,000 from Harmony One." And Harmony was like below 1 cent, right? And she's like, and she told me, and I believe she said, I paid my kids private tutoring or schooling or something like that with that. And I was like, my core goal there was like, I was trying to build OpenDive. I wanted people to understand the tech, get educated because it's like a huge trend, right? And like my whole thesis on this, or my whole like focus is people understand that this technology is not just to make money, but actually to change society, right? Reconstructs or rebuild the way that some of these like well-established social constructs have been around, and like not just like socially, but talk about the financial industry, right? And talk about decentralization. So that was always the core focus, right? Whenever I talk about a quote-unquote project or token, it wasn't really about the pump. It was like, this is why this tech is amazing, and this is what they could do, and also what they could do wrong or why it doesn't work, right? I wasn't always saying this is the best. Yeah.
We can't leave anywhere at any of these places without having to talk to 800 people going from one side of the resort to the other resort, and it's crazy how much of a network that you have. I mean, it's like, and we've gone from ETH Denver to Solana to Polkadot, and it's everywhere. So, I mean, I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah, I mean, like those watching, we're gonna post. I don't know if we're gonna put it online, but it's not a pump. But it's really because I haven't always generally curious about how technology can disrupt and improve our lives, and blockchain tech is one of those things that just came about and kind of will help redefine the way that our financial system works, the way that our society, functions. When we talk about, for example, reputation. Social constructs like NFTs, right? This is all just like things that would change drastically. And that's why I generally just didn't stick to one project and say, I love this ecosystem, but I was more interested about technology, what the roadmap was and what the vision. And so that's really what it was about. And that's why I was there. And I wasn't just like shilling projects, but like I actually was building on top of them because I needed to know. And like at the times I figured out a lot of these projects were just like smoke screens.
Yeah.
So I would go on these stages and be like, no, you're saying like this is what you have working, but it's not like that. And nobody else. People would just like read the white paper, read the website, and they're like, oh, and they're doing this and they're doing that. And I was like, no, they're not. I wrote this smart contract or I tried to build this application. They don't have this, and this probably won't work. So it was always about that. It wasn't about shilling or, connecting people. I mean, that came just because I was generally interested in the technology and sharing that knowledge with people. I feel like we're making it about me, but we should be talking about Clubhouse.
No. I think
let's talk about Clubhouse.
It's just a general conversation. I think it'll be cool to continue to have these type of things when we go to these different conferences because, spending a lot of time together, seeing a lot of similar faces as well as new faces, and each one of these conferences has a different feel to it. Obviously, the Solana hacker houses are very similar and very similar people, but just this is a complete side note. When it comes to after parties, let's rate some after parties. I want to rate some.
Probably we should throw it down to Mai and Yuki.
Yeah. So here, I'll ask you, and then we can let them filter in. But what is your favorite after party so far that you've seen?
Historically, or like this year?
This conference.
ETH Denver, for example, right?
This year?
ETH Denver, hold on, 3-4 years ago. Where do you guys think these after parties were hosted at? People's homes?
Was it? Yeah. Oh, clubs.
At a bar.
At a bar.
Like a rundown bar sometimes, and there's literally people just standing there and talking. Like, you see a lot of the people who are like, coming from Bitcoin in there. I mean, this is like, it's not the stereotype, but you see like these guys with like beards, I also had a beard too at some point. Really talking about the tech, and at a bar, have music blasting. It's just really about talking, like really stuff, like about decentralization and products and projects and stuff like that. I mean, fast forward to like the present, and ETH Denver was nightclubs. Yeah. Dead Mouse playing.
Yeah.
Champagne bottles everywhere. So I made that comment to a few people that were like, yeah, of course. I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, yeah, because everybody made it. So right now, right?
Now everybody's got money.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Now it's a bunch of nerds balling out.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, I sort of miss those days because it was really about connecting people and like thinking new ideas and building stuff. Whereas now I feel it's more about like showcasing, being out and about, less about, networking with the people. So, and clubs are involved heavily nowadays.
I think my favorite venue was the Poker House event.
Poker House.
It was, yeah, you guys missed it. Oh man, the aesthetic and it was a pink beach. It was so cool. The entire thing was very vibey, but I would say that one wins best venue.
Actually, yeah, it was on brand.
It was
on brand.
Nailed it. And I think my expectations were low, so then like it was just it blew me away. I think it was the coolest one. Solana Miami utilizing Elo's room was pretty cool. The Supercars Miami. That was a really cool spot. And same with Toe Jam. ETH Denver, to me, was meh, if I'm being honest. Now they're never going to invite me back. But
you don't get the podcast room.
Yeah, well, it's okay.
The doorless podcast
room. We won't talk about that.
Yeah, I think so. It's a very different... I think we asked this question was like, what's the difference between all these like blockchains or ecosystems? And, one of them is the culture, right? Of course, the tech and the community, right? And based on these things, you can see like how they're structured. Like, I mean, hands down, Solana has, I want to say, but they got their shit together. Like,
I just had a new category, the most rugged.
Oh.
Rugged event. I'll tell you. I got it.
You tell me. I mean, which one?
This episode is brought to you by NVRland. And no, we're not talking about the California ranch. You're probably wondering, aren't you a founder? Yes, I am, and I'm not here to bullshit you. Along with my two cousins, Mark and Kurt, our partners Rob and Evan, and the world-famous West Coast Customs, yes, the guys behind Pimp My Ride, we're building a car customization, collecting, and racing game on the blockchain called Empire Ave. Empire Ave will sit in the NVRland world, along with the MetaWhips and the MetaRacer minigame, the CryptoBahamas mower racing game, and the ever-expanding metaverse that's going to continue to grow. You can find out more by visiting www.NVRland.io. That's www.NVRland.io. Let's get back into the episode. Castle in Lisbon.
Oh,
was that Pith? In where we got rugged, there was a jet ski in the pool, and we had to drive 45 minutes to a castle. Well, it wasn't a castle. It was a villa. Yeah, it was like a mansion in Centra, and we had to sign waivers to go into it, and then they shut it down. I was told that somebody, the host or whatever, came and shut it down, and they were trying to barter. Like somebody even offered to buy the house and some crazy shit. But
yeah, overhyped.
That was the most rugged. because we literally had to ride in a car for 45 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, we get there. There's a jet ski and the pool.
There was.
And a
Were you guys
pool.
there?
I heard about that legendary story. How rugged it is. Because everybody-
We got rugged. The most rugged. I mean, anyone
Second.
that has like 2 females and 8 million
The
dudes.
ratio. I mean, that is what a crypto event should be. It's like, like super skewed ratio, mostly dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something we gotta change, right? We need like more women in the space. Like, for example, Mai and Yuki who are coming to the space. Yeah, but a lot of times there's also a lot of VCs. Oh, I mean, okay, so I just remember one. All right, so like in all seriousness, I've been traveling a lot to these events because, like when you go to these events, you can learn so much just by literally having all the core devs, everybody there involved. And so, we're going to these events. So literally I sit down there and Danny was with me one of these and we were there.
Barcelona.
I don't know if I mention the name, but he saw me talking to the core devs, right? Let's not mention the event. We were sitting there and then I'm like, oh snap, there's like a workshop. Let me go there. I go to the workshop. It's a very small room. It's like 30 people max for a conference of like 3,000 people. And I'm like, so I get there and they close the door. I can't get in. So I like took out the live stream on my phone and I'm like watching the guy through the glass with my phone in.
Rugged workshop.
Tears. Yeah. Because you're going there because you want to at least me, I'm going there. I was like, all right, give me the freaking rundown.
Yeah.
Right, I don't want to spend reading docs or talking to you over Discord. Like, I'm gonna literally just go there and ask questions like back to back.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like the only one asking questions at some of these workshops.
Come here.
Yeah.
Tell me your favorite event, after party event. Or first, introduce who you are.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mai. So basically what I'm doing in Solana system is that helping projects building on Solana to advise their marketing strategies and growth strategies.
You've been going to a ton of these hacker houses, right? How many hacker houses have you been to?
So basically when people ask, where do you live? I told them I live in hacker houses. So ever since my very first hacker house, because Irvin brought me back in Miami at Basel in December. So that's the first one. And then Miami, Chicago, LA,
Mai brought herself in because she said she needed to come to
Dubai.
Web3. Like, she wanted to come here and she did it. She took the initiative. Like, not a lot of people do that, by the way. I didn't cut you off because it's like
No,
you're saying,
I
but
love it.
a lot of people will go ahead and say, "Oh, hey, you're traveling a lot. I like crypto. I like blockchain. How do I get in?" They don't take any action. I tell them, "Look, there's a conference here. You get a stipend to come. Do you want to do it?" And a lot of people don't do it, and she did. She's like literally probably one of the very few who took action initiative. And she's like, "Okay, I'm freaking coming, right? To meet the people, learn the ecosystem." Like, I'm very serious. I don't think I ever told you that, but a ton of friends that tell me they want to be in crypto and blockchain and they don't do anything. I literally say, "You come here, we rented an entire space." They don't. But Mai is one of the very few people who actually did it. She came through and wanted to learn.
I
break in.
appreciate it. Yeah. And I think just like what Irvin is saying, when people ask me right now, even though I'm very new to the space, what is the big takeaway from the space? I'm like, Web3 is about permissionless. So just do it. Sometimes you're just gonna be there, present, and learn. So that is big. Just do it.
Which was your favorite?
That's a very hard question. So I think I definitely different cities have different vibes, right? So around Miami, so it's a lot about NFT. So you gotta meet a lot of NFT artists, similar, with LA. And then for Chicago, it's more about the DeFi vibes because Jump Capital was there. And then Seattle is more about technology related because Microsoft is there. So different cities bring different vibes, and I think that's the beauty of going to different, events and different hacker houses, especially for projects that are building, right? So if you are more on DeFi, you might want to go to Chicago. If you're more about art and trying to launch your NFT collection, then choose LA cities or Miami.
That's a good point.
That's actually a great perspective. You've been doing a lot of content and promoting, and I don't know, have you been doing that on your own accord, or were you hired to do it, or it looks like you're grinding and making a lot of content. Is this something that you were asked to do, or are you just doing it to make a name in this space?
Yeah, I think, based on, similar to what we discussed earlier, right? So it's about just do it. And sometimes when I was in Hacker House, I offered to do office hours, and I actually did office hours in Prague. And thank Irvin for help me promote the office hours. So the projects will come up to me saying, "Hey, I need help with content. I need help with community. Need help with marketing. What should I start?" So one of the first things I told them is that really think about your product market fit first, and then the content, the community will come afterwards. Because if you're really building a great product and you know where is your target consumer, your target market, then you will have a direction about what content to build, what kind of marketing strategy you may need. For example, if you are building a wallet, target animation, you may want to think about younger Gen Z, right? So they are definitely probably 15 to 35. And then when you think about marketing, you think about, oh, that's the target group I should make, and that's the more fun content I should make. Then maybe I should be on TikTok because that's where my target consumers are.
Do you know somebody building a wallet?
I think Kiyomi sounds familiar.
I like those guys too. I think.
So, what is your, I guess, best after party?
Or
You could describe it. You don't have to mention it. You could describe it. Maybe one of the previous ones.
Yeah, I think I have so many favorite after parties. But this one in Dubai was hit me from
Okay, I didn't go that one.
I didn't make it to Dubai, so rub it in.
Okay, so we're in Dubai, and then we're bought into this like club in the middle of nowhere, and that's like the best club setup I've seen. They have different layers, and the best part is that they have teddy bears on the floor.
Teddy bears.
Human-sized teddy bears.
Oh,
yeah.
So you have pictures?
Yeah, I have pictures.
There you go.
Okay, I will send it to you. And then they have like a lot of different circles on different levels, and they're only allowing VIP tables in. So not normal people cannot even get in.
Interesting.
You can have to buy tables, but that's very Dubai, and it's very similar to what we discussed earlier. Every hacker house have a very different vibe to it, and Dubai is a lot about showy, a lot of VCs and like investors right there. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What if you bring your own teddy bear? Do they let you in or no?
If you are saying you can make that teddy bear into an NFT.
Bring your own teddy bear.
Yes.
Like you've been going to a lot of these, and one of the things that I've talked to some other female people in this space, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of females in this space. So what would you say, or what do you think we can do to help bring more into the space, more women in Web3?
I think that's a very great question, and this is what I observe personally, right? So when you're a woman in the space, like there's certain perception, right? So I think what you guys can really help is that be open-minded, right? Whenever you see a woman, no matter what she's wearing, no matter what she's dressing, just start a conversation and be normal. Just like, hey, what brought you to the event today? Because a lot of women's feedback to me is that they feel intimidated in the space. They can only go to women to start a conversation because sometimes guys don't know how to start a conversation. We're not willing to have a conversation with the women because of the stereotyping. So I think if more men are being open-minded and start a conversation and just be friendly, I think that will be helpful.
All right, I love that answer.
So my Twitter handle is Web3Mai. So it's BABEAPE2334. It's Baby Ape 2334. But you can also find me on TikTok. I'm making a lot of cool, fun Web3 content because that's, one of my goals is trying to onboard more women and more people in general into the Web3 space. So I think TikTok is a really effective way to get people to get interested in it. So find me on TikTok, Web3Mai, yeah.
Are we going to do a TikTok dance?
Dance trend actually on TikTok is overrated. So TikTok algorithm actually is more about telling your stories. So that's why I think one of the reasons you guys are doing is, record the journey is one of the best ways to, blow up on TikTok. Just like Gary Vee.
I'm just like Gary Vee, she said.
Yeah, there you go, found it.
So what are you doing in this space? Was Chicago the first hacker house that you went to?
First one. So I'm a perfect example here. I'm the woman starting with space new. So I quit my full-time job to start this.
You quit?
Yes, and today is my last day.
I just found out.
Yeah. I literally just shared the story to Irvin. Yeah. And he asked me, so what are you going to do with that?
No, okay, so real talk. So Mai just went all in after like a few visits. She went really deep on it, and then she's like, yeah, I quit my job already. I was like, what?
Quit. Your first one was Chicago? And what has your experience been at these?
There's a lot of technical terms. So throughout the conversation, I need to randomly put down the words. Yeah, and then when I go home, I need to start it.
So did you have any understanding of Web3 or crypto or anything before you went to the conference?
I have zero knowledge about it. I just go.
Was it scary?
No, to me, because like this is life. You always need to facing like adventures, like something new.
How many more of these are you doing? Are you looking for a job? What is your intention in this space?
Okay, so like seriously, I don't know how far I'm going to go in this space, but it's about failures. Yeah. So just go and try your best. And then like at this moment, I don't want to settle down for any position because I literally just quit the job I worked for past 11 years. So
11 years?
11 years.
Wow.
I started
Wild.
in the company since I'm 18. Oh, right now you know my age.
Okay, we'll edit that out. Don't worry.
do the simple
Jusup.
math. You think, oh, okay, I'm not that young anymore, but it's okay. I can always start something new. It's not about the age. It's about the guts you have. So women's out there, if you want to start, getting to know the space, find urban,
Whoa. No, talk to Jusup.
He's-
Jusup has been like also grinding in the space, and he has like a ton of knowledge. Actually, they could watch your podcast, all the episodes.
yeah.
And actually, I think watching all of Jusup's episodes will get you up to speed in how many hours?
15, 20?
Yeah, you'll find about all the latest and oldest rugs. You'll find about the key people, the hottest tech.
Like I'm talking to everybody. There's really a mixture of all kinds of people doing different things, from super DeFi heady stuff and very entertaining NFT collectors and people just coming into the space, and it's all about conversation. One of the major things that I love about doing these is all of these conferences get really, really hectic and crazy, and like you meet so many different people. We started this whole selfie thing, like where you get a telegram and people are doing the selfies just to remember who the hell you talked to. But I love these because even meeting VCs or people that I can network and partner with, I like the podcast because this is a moment that almost feels like it stops everything else around, and I get to have these one-on-one conversations, or in this case, 3-on-1 conversations. But I get to actually connect and build a rapport with people that I talk to in these, and it's a true connection that I think is I can't really have it unless we were to schedule a lunch or dinner or anything like that. But everybody's trying to do that, especially the more important somebody is, not to put people on pedestals, but like the more if they're VCs, like literally everybody's trying to get money from somebody, and so I think these are a really cool way for me to build a rapport and hopefully provide value for them if it gets a lot of attention, and also just help everybody out. So
Jusup just started this not long ago, but I firmly believe this will be the Web3 podcast. And of course, I know we discussed that you're also gonna do other things outside of Web3, but I think the stories that you're hearing, behind the scenes, and Jusup makes such a great point that, like, a lot of these events are getting hectic. It wasn't like it was before. Like I mentioned 3-4 years ago, where you literally go to a bar, it's kind of quiet, you could chat, network, get to know someone. All these events are super hectic, music blasting, and these one-on-one conversations that you're having is where, like, you see someone really come to life and be real about it, right? Why are they here? Where do they come from? Where are they going?
Yeah. I get to know them way more than like, hey, we need money for this seed round, or like, let's build on your platform. Like, I get to know them way more in depth than that, and then anybody watching gets to be a part of that as well. And like, I mean, it's being branded currently with our company stuff and incorporating Kiyomi, because we're doing this together quite a bit. But I think there's more to this than just the simple podcast.
Everyone heard Yuki. She said she just like quit her job, and essentially everybody, like, if you're gonna follow that route, then you have to go all in. Like, go all in, like, grind it out, and you really have to go in deep and like understand the ecosystem or the product you want to go in. Because if you're just gonna say, look, I'm gonna jump off this plane, you have to build your parachute right away, right, to land where you want to land. If you're just gonna go and like float in the air for like some time, not the best approach, because this ecosystem or overall crypto moves pretty fast, right? So you're gonna have to really grind it out.
So one quick thing, we'll use this for some good. Yuki, can you tell us what your skill sets are and what you're looking to do in this space? And then how can people find you to hire you if they want to hire you?
Okay, so like I'm really good with like analyze stuff. So like for the things I do for the past 11 years, I was like a product manager. I handle like pricing strategies for over 400 plus locations, including international locations. Those are like Australia, Vienna, Cambodia, and Taiwan. So I think these are my skill sets, but I don't want to limit to that, especially in the Web3 world. There's a lot of things I need to learn. And then I think like just keep it up, yeah. And then I want to do another like podcast with you guys to share my journey with you guys.
Where can people find you or connect with you to if they're interested in hiring you or anything like that? It's Yuki_DNYC. So YUKI_DNYC. Instagram. Go check her out. Send her a DM if you want to hire her. I hope your DMs don't get flooded after this. Yeah. Let's chat with Danny real quick. We got Danny.
With this young man right here.
Who's this guy?
I don't know what he's wearing.
Strapping lad. First of all, why did you bring a Kiyomi hoodie and not a shirt to the Bahamas?
Because I wore my Kiyomi shirt representing in Boston the day before, and it was very dirty. And then I got the call that I was coming down here for CryptoBahamas, so it unfortunately was not able to make the trip with me, but the hoodie did. The hoodie did. Yeah, so I'm Danny. I joined Irvin's team at OpenDive about 6 weeks ago on, first and foremost, the community side of things, but really wearing any hats that are needed, and it's been really exciting so far. Definitely gaming and the concept of the metaverse was one of the main triggers that really intrigued me to look deeper into Web3 and NFTs and blockchain technology. So that's something I'm really excited about, to be able to do that full time for sure, especially on such a powerhouse team.
So how many conferences have you done now?
I first joined OpenDive at my first conference, the New York Hacker House. Met a lot of friends there and even more along the way, but I think that was the start of March, first couple days of March. So it's been, I guess, a little more than 6 weeks now, about 2 months. It's been a blast so far, and learning a ton and meeting so many talented and inspiring people for sure.
Favorite Hacker House or after party?
Ooh, that's a tough one because each brings its own benefits and challenges. I would say my favorite probably so far was Miami, because I got a chance to experience that from start to finish and see even some of the setup and breakdown. And, you know, being in the warm weather, Miami, Bahamas, never hurts. But that was a really big event. There were a lot of interesting teams and builders in attendance there, and really good energy around the Solana ecosystem and some of the projects that are coming out.
What projects are you bullish on?
Anything with the OpenDive label on it.
We're working on the Kiyomi sign, but
yeah,
the Kiyomi hand sign.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. So I'm certainly really excited about Kiyomi and the impact that stands to have on gaming, NFTs, and even simply just onboarding the masses to crypto with an easy user experience and a seamless multi-chain wallet.
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things is like every time we show somebody a demo, it's like this, they light up, man. It's such a cool thing to see how they're like, what is this? And yeah, I mean, it's countless times.
Yeah, I mean, everyone in this space that collects NFTs is looking for more immersive and new ways to interact with them, and new ways for projects to market that and reach new and more diverse communities. So to have, you know, some really interesting technology that's never been developed and executed in this way before is just fantastic to be a part of.
Okay, so if you're looking into the next 10 years, what do you think gaming and the metaverse looks like?
I mean, to put any sort of time constraint on it is so challenging because, again, new and uncharted territory, first and foremost. And second of all, everyone knows how quickly the crypto markets and the space moves. One day can be life or death for a project in certain situations. So I think it's really a combination when we're thinking about these metaverse experiences. How quickly is the hardware able to develop alongside the software and blockchain technology experiences that we and other entities are able to create?
What is the last NFT project you minted?
Well, I mean, I'd rather talk about the last NFT project that I tried to mint, because if I tried to mint it and fails, that means it's a good project. And if I'm successful minting it, so. But
he's a big soul bear bag holding.
Yeah. You know, anything having to do with bear markets is really exciting.
All right, so which is the last project you tried to mint then?
The last project I tried to mint does also happen to be a bear. It was the OK Bears. Yeah.
So you got one?
I did not get one. I tried. Yeah, I tried very hard, but it wasn't in the cards. And I immediately looked at the secondary market and saw that the floor was 10 sol, and I was extremely surprised to see that, because they have a big social media presence, but I haven't heard too much about any really innovative technology that's being pushed there. So it does definitely seem like something that's really perfectly timed in terms of market conditions, people looking for something to pump and explode, as well as the appeal of the art to that classic.
Because what's it now? You said it's something ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, they were up at 176 Solana this morning. Man. I saw, and then I just looked like 10 minutes ago for fun, and they were at like
200?
130.
Okay.
So they fell off a bit, but like you never know. You never know with the bears.
I'm not gonna lie. If I held one and it hit 170, I'm pulling profit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, but wouldn't you say that at 20 for some projects?
Bored Ape.
So 100% like that. This bear thing, like you said, there's very little that you see of like what differentiates this from.
I mean, so there's a tweet. Someone drew a comparison between the Bored Apes, like the hair. Okay, do you think this is a Pixelmon play? Okay, so I mean, like, great marketing, great content.
Yeah,
boom.
but I don't think they've really promised anything to the extent that Pixelmon has. I think it's really like, hey, like, we're a low-key, anonymous NFT project, but our bears are the coolest thing ever, and that's how they're marketing it on Twitter. And people have caught on to that. Certainly the general public, and I would imagine there's some big fish behind the scenes that are also involved, especially with the initial spark.
Right.
Danny, where can people find you?
You can find me for now on Twitter at ETH_Allen, ALLEN. Currently going by the name Rock Maxi, but if you look in my bio, it says Danny OpenDive.
And you guys know where to find Irvin XYZ, Jusup 11 everywhere, and then NVRland Labs. So it's NVRland Labs. Yomi, OpenDive HQ. This is pretty much everything, I think, right? And then Tiago. Check out Tiago's dope work. Before we wrap this up, I want to talk about. We may or may not cut this out because we talked about not making it public. But Tiago actually had a brilliant idea, and this is the first time he's been a part of this space, the Web3 space, and so for him to come up with this idea is actually really cool, considering he has no experience in this, and just spending enough time with Irvin and me and Chico and Danny and everybody, he's already kind of coming up with these cool creative ideas, which is what I think this space actually propels. It gives people a new medium to explore their existing talents and creative endeavors. So we have to pay Tiago because we hired him, and we pay people that we hired. And so Tiago had this cool idea of like, what if I were to take a photo that I took while on these trips or at a conference, and I mint it and put it up for sale, and then you guys buy that, and that's how you pay. And it almost acts as if it's an invoice to us, but we get to hold on to an NFT as well. Not only does that we get to hold on to something, we don't just get an invoice, we get an NFT. He gets paid for the exact same amount that we were going to pay him for, and it shows the value of what he has. He can continue to increase these NFTs, and people can now hire him. Like, it's almost a cool way of like, hey, here's my service. You get a photo, but you also get the service associated with it. Or like maybe we meant the recap video. But I just think it was a cool thing for him to come up with on his own. And I don't even know if he understands how cool and unique of a concept that is. I want to just give him that shout out of I thought it was pretty cool.
Tiago, do you understand the impact?
Probably not yet, but I thought it was a very cool idea because it's like a trade of service. You get my NFT. I earn value in my collection, so it's a win-win-win situation. You can find me on Instagram. It's where I'm mostly more active. It's Creativity Nation.
All right, man. We love you, Tiago. He's had was his first time in America, and now Bahamas is kind of first time really leaving Portugal, and he is officially an American because he's had Five Guys twice.
That's right. I think so.
So I told him we're going to buy him a red, white, and blue cowboy hat.
What does that mean? Is he also from Invincible because he had like how many baklavas?
Baklavas, yeah. I think I had the most baklavas.
Way too many baklavas.
So, all right, that's the wrap of this episode. Make sure and subscribe and do all those normal things that you're supposed to do. And the sun has gone down, so even though it is not as hot, it is still the hottest Web3 podcast in the world.
Bow, 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 bow.
Thank you for listening.